Cocktails. I'm your host, Eric Schomer. Today we're going to be testing and tasting Sobieski Espresso Flavored Vodka with a Santa Claus hat. Don't really need that. Doesn't come with the bottle. That's mine. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a little bit of water. Cha-ching. We're going to add in some of this Sobieski Vodka. Water, again, from the last episode, which we just did with Jim Beam Maple. It's going to break up those aromas. It's going to release the awesomeness that is espresso.
Release the hounds.
Well, it's got a lot of sugar in there, I think. So this is 35% alcohol, which is typical. 70 proof. I know sometimes I compare alcohols to proof, and people are like, dude, I know, I'm stupid. So, imported from Poland. It's supposed to taste like espresso. That's okay. I like espresso. Not as much as like any other type of coffee, but espresso's okay. Here's the problem I have with espresso. It's always too small. I like to enjoy my coffee over a long period of time. And espresso comes in like these tiny little cups, sometimes even micro cups. You go to an Italian restaurant and it's like, dude, what's that movie with the little cups? Not Mary Poppins. What's this, the movie? Alice in Wonderland. It's like, it feels like I'm in an Alice in Wonderland skit. I want like coffee. I want a mug of coffee that I can carry over my shoulder up a mountain so that I can have coffee at the top of a mountain. Ooh. Smells like you walked into Starbucks.
You want to disappear into rabbit holes too?
I do not want to disappear into rabbit holes because rabbit holes may be stinky. I don't know where rabbits poop.
Probably not where they sleep. Most animals don't poop where they sleep.
Trolls. I think trolls poop where they sleep.
Well, trolls aren't real.
I always poop where they sleep when I used to be a dungeon master.
Well, that's because you're
always on one side of the room.
demented.
Game of Thrones. They're in prison. They would poop where they sleep.
No, on the other side of the room. That's not
bucket.
where they slept. They slept on the other side of the room.
Yeah, this is a conversation going nowhere.
Going down a rabbit hole.
So this thing has got a lot of like little micro bubbles floating around in it. I think that's the sugars that do that. It smells more like espresso the first few times. Then your nose kind of gets used to it. You know what I don't have? I don't have any Sobieski vodka. Why is that, guys? By the way, this is an interesting story. This was sent by these guys or their public PR agency on behalf of Peter from Spirit Cocktails, who was getting one and was making a cocktail, which we'll do, the morning eye opener, I believe. And he told them to send this to me, which was cool. Although I know them, I just never, these PR companies have a lot of labels, so you never know what they have going on. So, boom, it shows up at the door this week. I'm drinking it. Now, I'm a coffee drinker. I love me some coffee. I'm not so sure I love me some coffee vodka. While the product, by itself, we'll talk about that in a second. I am a big fan of the beanie rich, like voluminous cup of coffee. I wouldn't drink this straight. I don't really know if anybody would drink it straight. But you put this into milk or coffee, which might, if you have some really weak coffee and you want to really amp it up a little bit, really any coffee-centric cocktail or cocktail that could be paired with coffee, ones that have Irish creams like Cool Swan with a little chocolate, creme de cacao, in that realm. Maybe even, I don't know about orange juice, but I'm just thinking out loud here. Eggnog, perhaps. Obviously, heavy creams. Anything around there, I think this would work well. In a 1921 tequila cafe or Patron cafe, any of those that have those coffee, this would probably go better than a standard vodka because it's going to accent even more beanie richness. But straight, it's just not my thing. It's relatively thick, not as thick as maple whiskey, but it has a pretty good weight to it. It has a little bit of burn, and oddly, there is a nice sweet consistency through the drink. So I'm thinking that there's some underlying sugars in here to kind of match with that coffee essence. Definitely coffee, and it doesn't even really, to me at least, it doesn't really taste fake. Like there's two types of coffee liqueur like flavors I typically get. There's the more subtle coffee, which is like it smells like you have an auto drip machine or whatever those things are, and you throw the filter away and you smell that plastic, and it has like the residual coffee that's been sitting in there, so it's faint but it's there. This is a little more like you walked into a coffee shop smell of the espresso roast in the air. Like that is, it's when it's in the air, it's not enough that makes you gag. You're like, oh my God, this place is just horrid. Like if you just stuffed massive amounts of like potent coffee in the air, it might be a turnoff. This is much more subtle, yet still has that beany French dark roast type thing going on. Definitely a cooked roast bean, as opposed to say a bean from Kahlua, which I think tends to be a little more of a almost on the side of like a flavor coffee. This is definitely more neutral, acidic style coffee. But it is neat to have a clear drink that tastes like coffee. I think I'm going to lean on the side of putting this in a cocktail that doesn't have coffee already in it, that you want to add some coffee accents to. Because I don't know many people who put vodka in coffee. I think if you do, you have a problem. Flavored vodka in your coffee seems like it's just overlapping with what it already tastes like. But that's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think? What is your favorite style of coffee? Personally, for me, you throw some caramel in here. Oh yeah, caramel macchiato, maybe some butterscotch. Right? If I go out to one of those high-end coffee places, I am the type of guy that gets the crazy, like, I think I normally walk in, if I don't think or want to look at the menu and I know I'm in a Starbucks, it's going to be a grande, non-fat caramel macchiato every time. Why? Because non-fat makes me feel like I'm having a drink that's not as heavy or not as calorie-driven. Never looked at the facts, so I could be completely wrong. That's me being stupid American. I like caramel, so that works out well. And regular coffee is boring. And I think that at Starbucks it's too burnt and it tastes kind of gross. So I like to go with the creams, the sugars, the caramels, and maybe there's some coffee in there. Who knows? So what's your favorite? Mr. Frappuccino, I know you're out there. Frappuccinos? Right here? Anybody? Come on, Jennifer. You're a big Frappuccino fan. Mm-mm. Oreo cookie Frappuccinos? You like Frappuccinos, caramel Frappuccino?
They're okay, but I would get a mocha latte.
She'd get a mocha latte. Peppermint latte! It's that time of year, people! It's time to start bringing out the Christmas tree! Alright. I think we're done here. EverydayDrinkers.com. I don't know how much this cost, but I'm going to put a ballpark number between nothing and $100. But I'm really going to say, you guys could, maybe I'll even throw it below, but I'm going to go with this. $18.99. Maybe 21, but it seems flavored typically a little lower in my area. For you in Australia, $376, baby. Boom! We're teaching you how to drink.